Welcome back to Fire Dragon, and we're here today with yet another special episode. With the recent change to the $20 bill from Andrew Jackson to Harriet Tubman, I thought I'd upload this video on why I think that it should not have changed. The first question, of course, that I asked myself was, why was Andrew Jackson put on the $20 bill in the first place? I didn't really have an answer. I mean, other than the fact that he was like a war hero. That's the only thing I can think of. But, and look at that picture. That is the worst picture I've ever seen in my life. Gosh, geez, no. But anyway, so what this article tells me is that pretty much no one knows why he was put on there. In 1928, people selected him to replace Grover Cleveland, but nobody ever wrote down why. They just did it. So there's no real reason. But so now Andrew Jackson was seen as a champion of the working class against the business community. The whole reason he was elected is because he represented the lower class, the working class, and all those people, and the farmers of the South. And so the Feller, the guy who was an editor of the Papers of Andrew Jackson, which I really don't know what that is, to be honest, but says that it isn't very surprising. Says that it's not surprising that the Treasury Department of 1928 would put Jackson on the $20 bill. Says it's actually astonishing how completely the generalized public image has changed and how rapidly it has changed. Two people of the 19th century and the 20th century, Jackson was seen by most people, by most Americans, as a champion of the common man, a symbol of democracy. And actually, Feller says that Abraham Lincoln, that is. Of course, everybody knows Abraham. Abraham Lincoln loved to quote Jackson during the Civil War because of Jackson's striking proclamation against the nullification of the Union, which was completely what the war was about. But, so, the reason that Andrew Jackson is on the $20 bill in the first place is because he, well, first off, is a war hero. He was like a general genius. And he represented the base class of America, which makes up America, because without those farmers and all those lower class citizens that work for all their livings and work for big businesses, without those people, we'd all be dead. We'd have no... I mean, of course, we wouldn't, because we'd be doing it, but if those people didn't exist, we'd have to do it. And if we decided to not do it, then we'd all be dead, because there'd be nobody to create food, nobody to produce any form of necessity, and we'd also all be bored to death, because nobody would be creating video games, and nobody would be creating board games. Your life would suck without the lower class. And of course, Andrew Jackson did do things to help the lower class citizens and all those people. Of course, me personally, I don't really like Andrew Jackson that much. He mainly because of the point. Well, he was kind of illiterate in writing wise, not like mentally. He's kind of smart, but he couldn't form correct sentences on paper, and that's just annoying. I don't really care. But the main thing I don't like about him is that he completely screwed over the economy by getting rid of the bank that Alexander Hamilton, my hero, I love Alexander Hamilton, he's my favorite person in history, even more than Morgan Freeman. And if anybody knows me, then me saying I like someone more than Morgan Freeman is a big deal. I love Morgan Freeman. I also love Alexander Hamilton because he was genius, and all of his, pretty much anything that ever came out of his mouth is something that I agree with. I love the Federalist Party, and he created the Federalist Party. All of the Federalist ideas that I know of, I didn't really look up what all Federalist ideas, but everything I've heard about them, I agree with them, and I would love to be Federalist, but Federalists don't exist anymore. But anyway, Andrew Jackson completely broke down, or not broke down, got rid of the National Bank of America. I think that's what it was called, but the first national bank, and decided to have private businesses do their own banking stuff and not have national currency and just gold and silver, which isn't really a good idea, but most people at the time thought the same thing. So, not bashing him for that, but he still did screw over the economy pretty bad by reversing Alexander Hamilton stuff, which is one of the main reasons why I don't like him. He's still a pretty good president. He represented the common man, like I've been saying. So he definitely deserved to be on the $20 bill in the first place, especially in the 1900s, whenever people were all for the common man and stuff. Nowadays, people are like, businesses, free business, everything. The reason that I believe that people are wanting to change the $20 bill, originally they were going to have Alexander Hamilton's $10 bill, I think is what he was on, that's what they said, and they were going to put beside him some woman, and, well, I mean, like, literally, they were just like, hey, let's take Alexander Hamilton's bill and put a woman beside him, and they didn't even know what woman they wanted, so they didn't have any real reason to do it. They were just like, women, woo, but and then they ended up, people were like, no, Alexander Hamilton's cool. Actually, one guy, hold up, YouTube, Alexander Hamilton rap. So now some guy made an Alexander Hamilton rap, Lin-Manuel Miranda, and he made a thing why Hamilton is amazing and stuff, but and so that was actually a big contributing factor to why they decided, yeah, never mind about Alexander Hamilton, we're gonna go for Andrew Jackson. But the women's rights movement, along with all the gay movement and all the rights for individual people, even though people are like, we want equality, but we want to be separate from everybody. Separate but not equal does not work. Have you not looked in any history books? It's not how it works. But anyway, the women are like, we need some representation on the bills, and that's not the way it is. I mean, cool, women are cool, but for decades and decades, I don't know why I'm just doing this over here, but for decades and decades, we've had what we have. We have had all men as presidents. We've had all men on the dollar bills. It's just the way it is, and I don't think we should change that, because you can't. I mean, president-wise, maybe if you get a good president. Hillary Clinton is a horrible human being, I personally think. But it's not because she's a woman. She's just a horrible person. So, I mean, I'm sure I'd be fine with a woman president, as long as it's actually a good president. But, anyway. But anyway, people shouldn't be just saying that we should have a woman on dollar bills just because she's a woman. No, we need to get people on the bills that deserve to be on the bills. And cool, Harriet Tubman was a cool president, but does she really deserve to be on the bills more than the people that are already on the bills? Does it really warrant a change of how we've lived our life for decades, just so that way women get new representation? Sounds to me a little selfish, but I mean, this is all just my opinion. So if you disagree with me, you can just leave some stuff down in the comments why you disagree, and maybe you can change my point of view, even though, I don't know, who knows. You'll have to bring up some pretty good evidence. Then if you do agree with me, don't forget to click that like button, just to show me that I'm not the only insane human being on earth. And also, let's just have one last look at that hideous $20 bill. Do you really want this to be on your $20 bill compared to that pretty normal looking $20 bill? But thank you for watching this special episode of Fire Dragon, where I'm just talking about $20 bill. And of course, like I've already said, it's all my opinion. I'm not bashing women, I'm just bashing the people that think that they should change everything just because women are better than men. That's what I'm saying. Not that women and men shouldn't be equal. They should be the same and equal, not separate but equal, which is what the women are saying. But in reality, saying the way that they're acting is that women are better than men. But whatever. My opinion. I'm not saying everybody is doing that, just the main people that I'm seeing. So thank you for watching this video, and I'll see you next time.